What's up, everybody? In this video, I want to talk about why post-scarce societies are a myth and they do not actually exist. And to do this, I'm going to talk about the picture that is usually painted by everybody saying that we're going towards utopia, we're going to a post-scarcity society, we're going to have super abundance, and everything's just going to be free everywhere, and scarcity will no longer exist. So let's start there. Let's actually paint that picture. So the premise is we're building AGI. AGI will over time become super intelligent. Super intelligence will solve the big problems. It'll crack nuclear fusion. It'll crack quantum computing. It'll help us go mine resources in outer space. And it'll power the entire workforce, the entire economy will be powered by super intelligence and robots. And I think those things will happen. All four of those things will happen. And if you look at the fundamentals of civilization, they're intelligence, labor, material resources, and energy. Energy being the most important one whenever you have technology that is operating the entire economy for us. Whenever you have technology being the fundamental mover of the economy, well, what powers technology? It's energy. That's it. Energy and the materials used to create that technology. And the labor and the intelligence is purely powered by energy and materials. That is it, right? So you could reasonably deduce it down to just energy and materials once as we have super intelligence and really good robotics, right? So those become the limiting factors of civilization, of the economy moving forward. Just those two things, right? So now, what does that mean? Whenever we have the ability to manufacture intelligence via artificial intelligence, we can manufacture it as fast as we want to, and we can also manufacture labor by manufacturing robotics as fast as we want to. What does that mean? Yes, we will have an economic singularity. Currently, the economy doubles. I think it's every 18 years. I could be wrong, but it's around a decade, maybe a little over a decade. That's how often the economy doubles. We could reach a point where it doubles every month. And there is like actual economists that agree with this, that we could reasonably reach an economic singularity where every single month the economy is doubling. And that would definitely seem like a post-scarcity society. I do think that'll happen. What I'm saying is there will still be levels of scarcity that you can't comprehend right now. Like if I were to go back in time and talk to Homo habilis and I asked it, what could I help you with? What problems could I help you solve? What could I do for you to give you post-scarcity? Homo habilis would say, well, I wish my fire would stop going out. I would like a little bit of a bigger cave so I have a little bit more room with my family. And I would like a bigger boulder to block the cave so no animals get in here because that's annoying. It wouldn't even think about like having an irrigation system, having like different types of farming or having running water at all. It wouldn't think about having an LLM, for example. Robotics wouldn't even be a thing. AI wouldn't be a thing. Fusion wouldn't be a thing. Like all of those things would seem completely unreasonable to that thing, to Homo habilis. Homo habilis would be totally fine with just a little bit more food, a little bit more water, and a fire that stays on. He wouldn't even know what to think beyond that to be post-scarce. What I'm saying is we are Homo habilis, and on the other side of this, we'll be in this world that is completely different. We are going to go through an economic singularity, and we will have abundance that is far beyond what we have right now. But there will be scarcity on levels that we do not comprehend currently. That is the fundamental reason why we're building this community. Because there will be different levels of scarcity, and we won't want to be in the lower rungs of society, even on those different levels. Because there's still, in the universe, everything orders into hierarchical structures, right? Due to limitations in materials and due to limitations in our ability to extract energy, there will always be hierarchical structures in the universe. Always. There's no stopping that. And this narrative that everybody paints on YouTube or in other places, that we're going to this post-scarce society, yes, compared to what we have now, it will seem post-scarce. But humans adapt quite well. We adapt very, very quickly. The genome within inside of us will continue to exist. We'll still have human impulses. The limbic system will continue to exist. Like, in order to go to a post-scarce society, we have to imagine that we reconstruct 4 billion years of evolution. We would have to rip 4 billion years of evolution and the entire limbic system in the brain out of all of humanity. Then we can go to a post-scarce society where everything is equally distributed and equitable. But even then, I would bet that even then, we wouldn't. Just because, again, due to limitations of materials, our ability to extract them, our limitations of energy, and our ability to extract energy, these limitations just do not permit a post-scarce society. Like, I do think that we'll have levels of abundance that are unfathomable right now, right? It'll be unfathomable abundance, but we will make up new levels of scarcity in our own minds. And even within physics, within the realm of the world and the universe that we live in, we will want more. This is human nature. There will be scarcity. As long as we are human, and as long as we live in the plane of the universe, scarcity will continue to exist. You can identify abundance or you can identify scarcity as access to resources to prevent death. By that definition of scarcity, scarcity is the limitation of access to resources to prevent death. By that definition, we will leave Earth to become less scarce. Like, the big thing is death on the table. Whenever we become multiplanetary, so we go from Earth to Mars, we increase abundance by a large amount. Because now we have 50-50 shot just within our solar system of death of the species. But then eventually, our sun will expand big enough to remove Earth, to limit Earth's habitability and Mars' habitability. Or maybe we have a supernova that happens near our solar system, so we need to go to another solar system to prevent that death. But eventually, if we inhabit, let's say we inhabit all of the Milky Way, the entire Milky Way is inhabited, right? We could have a supernova or the black hole within inside of the Milky Way becomes unstable. That will cause everybody in the Milky Way to go extinct. So by that definition, we would need to inhabit many galaxies to be post-scarce. But even then, one day, the heat death of the universe will kill all of humanity, all of consciousness in the universe. So maybe the goal of the universe is for the universe to create intelligent systems that become intelligent enough to create technologies powerful enough to construct or prevent the destiny of the universe itself. To change the destiny of the universe itself, right? So this idea of a post-scarce society will never exist unless we have the ability to change the destiny of the universe itself. So what I'm seeing that is most probable is, just like Homo habilis never expected to want to have an AI that can do all of the work for him. Just like, who would have thought Homo habilis? Oh, yeah, I know it'd make me post-scarce. I never have to work again. I just talk to an AI and it solves physics. Like, yeah, to Homo habilis, that seems absurd. He would have never even think about that. To Homo habilis, he just wants some fire. He just wants a fire that doesn't go out. He just wants a river that has better water than the river he had previously. He just wants a bigger cave, right? Right now, all we want is more energy, more labor. Like, we want very primitive things compared to what we could be on the other side of this. So yeah, scarcity will continue to exist on different levels that aren't even comprehensible to you yet. Maybe you want to own a star. Maybe you want to own a planet. Maybe you want to own a galaxy one day. I don't know. I'm just making things up at this point. But the point is, there will always be more. The universe is very freaking big. It goes very small, infinitely small to very small scales, all the way down to the Planck scale. And it also goes very big. The amount of abundance or the amount of scarcity or abundance is very, very vast. And until we can inhabit multiple galaxies, which will be probably I don't know, hundreds of millions, maybe billions of years from now before we can inhabit multiple galaxies. I don't know. I'm just making shit up again. But the thing is, there will always be, in some way, shape, or form, as long as we have the limbic system and as long as we have the genetic code that we've been building up over 4 billion years, as long as we don't just destroy that, which I think it would be a very bad idea if we did. As long as we have those things, there will be levels of scarcity that do not make sense to us right now, but they will be there. Okay, so this idea of post-scarcity, oh, society is going to be a post-scarce society. Sure, compared to what it looks like right now. Yeah, of course, like duh. But you're still going to want to have different things that are unreasonable to you right now. There might be new technologies, like an irrigation system to Homo habilis would be like mind-boggling technology. There will be technologies like that to you right now that you cannot know. But it'll seem like, oh, I need this. I actually have to have this. Life would suck without this. But Homo habilis, I mean, they survived, or for a while they survived, and they eventually evolved into the next species, and then eventually Homo erectus, and then eventually Neanderthal, and eventually we sprouted from Homo habilis, right? So I guess we did pretty good, I'd say. Like, we made it all this way. I think we're post-scarce enough to survive. So post-scarcity will always be what it always has been. Like, I'm just using past data and extrapolating. That's what you need to do whenever you're talking about the future. You use past data and extrapolate. You don't make up this amazing narrative, this a crazy scenario of something that is so sci-fi that all these fiction authors write about, like, oh, everything's super abundant. There is no scarcity. Everything is good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense to you today. But there's going to be levels of scarcity that do not make sense to you right now. The best thing we can do is put ourselves in the very best positions today for that future. That's it. The best thing we can do is today start gathering resources, start gathering compute, start gathering energy, start gathering robotics. That's all we can do. Build very powerful AI for ourselves, have a mass computational power, build communities. Like, that's the only thing we can do. That's the best thing we can do right now, is make sure we can do those things. So this was a topic that many people would argue about in the comments, saying, oh, post-scarcity society is coming. No, it's like, sure, compared to what you feel right now, it'll seem post-scarce to you today. Humans adapt and adjust very quickly. I'm willing to bet a decade of whatever that post-scarce society is, you'll eventually be like, okay, I need more. Just because, we have a bias to do that. Welcome to human nature. That is how we made it 4 billion years. It's kind of a good thing that we have these biases, that we want more, that we have this selfish gene. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, okay? I don't think we're going to get rid of that selfish gene either. I think it would be very unwise for us to do that. It's a very important mechanism to have. That is the only reason we have gone this far. So we're not going to get rid of that. And if we do, I think we're screwed. I'm not going to get rid of that in myself. If you want to, that's fine. I'm going to beat you. That's how it works. But if you agree with this, that's why we are building the community. The reason we're building the community is so that we can capitalize and maximize the amount of energy we have to power the compute that we want, to power the robotics and intelligence that we will have, so that we can become extremely prosperous in the future, be in the highest level of society possible, and eventually, who knows what we'll be capable of. If we do go through an economic singularity, we have no idea what we'll be capable of, right? Things will be pretty amazing. It'll be phenomenal. And there's many people saying the economy won't exist in the future, money will not exist in the future. I actually disagree fundamentally. As long as we do have a form of scarcity, even if it's just something that we make up ourselves just because we're human and we want to have more, even if there is just that, we're going to want to have a form of currency so that we can barter and trade, right? Because all currency is trading. We're just trading with leverage. Currency is a technology that allows us to trade better. Instead of, I have to give up something so that I can get something, now I just give some money so I don't have to get rid of any of the, let's say I have a computer that's old and I have a computer that's new and I want to trade my old computer for a laptop. I'm just making up a random example. With money, I don't have to give up any of my items. I just buy something. But if you're just doing direct barter without currency, then you have to give up something like the old computer. What if you want the old computer, right? So money is a technology that allows for flexibility. You don't want to get rid of money. And the reason we'll still have an economy in barter is because it saves time. Even though every single person will be able to harness energy and build super powerful things with like really powerful AI, there's still going to be time limitations. It takes time to build things, right? And if you can trade for an item instead of taking a very long time to build an item, you're saving time. So money is a useful technology. It would be dumb for us to get rid of it, which is why we're not going to get rid of it. And everybody who thinks we are is not correct. Anyways, again, not trying to predict the future in any of my videos on this YouTube channel. A lot of people think I am. I'm just trying to be less wrong than everybody else, and I think I'm doing a good job. No, like not trying to sound arrogant or anything, which it might have. Oops, I'm sorry. But I just think there's a lot of crazy, like, religious propaganda going on. That's where I'm going to leave this video.